Okay, we are recording. So this is the second session on RangeDB on the optimistic concurrency feature. We got Tom on the call as well. So this morning and an hour ago, I spent some time and was refactoring quite a bit, working on deprecating SaveEvent, working on basically just deprecating SaveEvent. That required adding OptimisticSave, OptimisticSave events, and quite a few things. So it's probably easier to just go through the code of what I was working on.
Yeah.
So here's this giant PR. Oh crap, it's a lot.
Okay.
In a previous PR, I removed the X dash prefix for the header for expected stream sequence number. And I'm going to change this. There's a to-do to change how when you call save events in the HTTP API, I was using the record IO stream, which has more than just, like, this is all you should be passing in to save an event: the type, the data, and then the metadata. This record IO stream works off of a record. And a record contains more stuff than you can possibly save. You can save global sequence number, event ID, like those things should be generated. And it was lazy to do that. So that's why there's the to-do to change how this stream, this reading records in, should be in this structure. Technically it's doing that because those are on the record, but maybe we can get to that. I'm not sure if we can today.
Yeah, I vaguely remember this from last session.
Right, and I moved some stuff around to make it easier to get these event records. I'm trying to avoid going through all of the detail of the stuff because it could get monotonous. I check to see if you pass in the expected stream sequence number. If you did, then I attempt to save all of the events that you've passed in through that stream. This, like, basically the JSON request body, we turn this into a channel, and this get event records turns that channel of records and potential errors into a slice of event records. And then event record is probably have to go edit to go to that. An event record just contains the event and the metadata. Where were we? Okay, so if you do pass in the expected stream sequence number, we attempt to save via OptimisticSave events. If you didn't, we just do save events. And that avoided having to have this pointer to a uint64. That removed that private method we made last time. It's a little ugly right here, because if we can't parse the number that you pass in, we return this invalid stream sequence number. I don't know why that is there. But yeah, so it just checks to see if you want to do an optimistic save or not. I'm torn on whether I want that to always be the case, where you should always send, if you're going to save an event to the store, you should use optimistic concurrency. But I feel like some people aren't going to want to do that.
Yeah.
They should, but I think I'd rather give them the flexibility to not require optimistic concurrency.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we got all of that. Get rid of that private method that we talked about before. I went ahead and, before it was just calling save event in a loop. So it was doing all this logic in one go, and this is like really bad structure. And that's where that get events from the channel came from. Because when you read, you want me to go into detail? I don't really want to go into detail unless you're curious what's going on.
I mean, I am curious what's going on,
Okay.
but I understand.
No,
you know,
I can cover it. It's fine.
Yeah.
So whenever you make an HTTP request, you request with the JSON payload, and that payload looks like there is It's easier to just go here.
Yeah.
It's in the examples. If you save events, so your request body has this content.
Okay.
We shouldn't be passing an event ID. I'm taking that out. So I need to change that from here.
And the type?
You pass in an event type, the data payload, and then the metadata.
Okay. And
so that's the new struct you made.
Not exactly. Yes, but not in this case.
Okay.
So basically, we have this stream of bytes, and we need to turn that into something we can use. And because I was lazy, where's the API server? I'll just do it this way. Because I was lazy, I used this JSON record IO stream. It takes that JSON body and turns it into a channel of records and a channel of errors.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reason it's a channel of records and a channel of errors, as you get a record off, this could fail JSON unmarshalling, right? Like, or this one could work, and then this one could fail. Well, how do you do it? How do you have an iterator for something like this?
Right.
So it probably shouldn't. This record IO stream probably shouldn't have. It's probably a poor design. Like it probably should have been something like this. A channel of record responses that contains,
I see,
a record and a potential error. That would have been a better design. I don't want to get into it right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoever wrote this code did a poor job. That was me. But in any case, now you got these two streams of records and errors, and I needed to turn those into a slice of event records, and event records are the structure you were just talking about. It's an event and metadata. Okay, this is worth talking about, so I'm glad you wanted me to do this. So we got this helper that, here, I'll just show you how it works.
Yeah.
So we got the records and the errors. Let's just get rid of this stuff so we can see it all. The records and the errors, and we have to do a for loop, and we have to do a select. The way this works, so this is why this is bad design. Because you have to read from the record channel, and you have to do this to check if it's closed or not. If it's not, then it means it's closed and there's no errors to return. So it's basically a wrapper to make it a better design.
I get it.
We can clean this up if we want. Like we'll write a new one here in a little bit. But anyways, it just unpacks that records channel into the event record that we need so that we can call this new method that's a little cleaner.
Okay.
That's as far as I want to go, unless you have more questions.
No. I got the gist.
Okay. It just, when I made a decision to do it a different way, it kind of backfired, but it is what it is, and we'll fix it.
Yeah.
So I got rid of all of this looping through and this structure, and now all it does is oops, go back. Yeah, instead of looping through and calling it one at a time, it actually calls a new method called SaveEvents or OptimisticSave and that's all handled by the store. So we don't have to worry about the API doing any kind of like special magic other than unmarshalling the correct response.
Okay.
Got rid of that private method.
So you don't need to test anymore.
We got rid of the ability to pass in event ID. So that's gone. And that's where this big refactoring is, changing a lot of the tests to no longer receive an event ID. They're now generated. And when I set short UUID set rand, that sets the random number generator. So anytime it creates a UUID, they'll be in this order: DB2B, 99C, 2E9. So that's why I'm renumbering these, because before I was passing in the numbers, like 27E, like this one.
Right.
And then I was checking that it came back out. And that was before when it was using a different method for SaveEvent. It's the SaveEvent method that I've been hating and been wanting to get rid of. That's what this PR is doing, is getting rid of it.
Yeah. Right, because now it's generating internally the UUID, so you have to set the...
Right. For some reason, I thought you would want to set your own event IDs, but that really is never going to happen. You just want to set your data for the event, and the event ID can just be an afterthought or an internal metadata kind of thing. Okay, so we got those. We may not even need event IDs. I don't know. They're there, so whatever.
Yeah.
This is just some renaming stuff, getting rid of the event ID, adding OptimisticSave events to this failure test double. Here's OptimisticSave for the in-memory store. OptimisticSave just passes on to OptimisticSave events. OptimisticSave events passes it off to save events, which is now private, and that takes an optional expected stream sequence number. Save calls save events in the same way. Save events does it again. It passes off the work. So now all that work is just in save events. And the fact that it's either nil or a number, we have to do like one if statement. It's not too bad. Here's save events. This persists. It locks inside of a locked mutex and notifies subscribers after it's been unlocked. So we go through all the records. We call the internal save event, which does the real work of saving it. We generate that event UUID here. Still isn't the best way to do that. This needs to be a dependency on a UUID creation. It's just not a thing I want to deal with right now.
Okay.
It'll get rid of us having to do that set rand, but just more poor design from probably a year or two ago. If there's an error, we unlock. Now OptimisticSave, this is removed. It's hard to read. Basically, it just has that logic to check to see if the expected number. We do that counter, and we increment. I'm not in love with this solution, but this is the in-memory store, and it's not a big deal. We may want to come back and write some failure scenarios so that it backs out of the transaction, which is probably going to be hard in the in-memory store. So we can either do that, or we can switch to making Postgres work with this new stuff, getting transactions working there so that the tests work, and then coming back and getting them working here. We can cross that bridge in a little bit.
Okay.
We unlock the mutex after we've saved all the events, and then we notify subscribers. I think that's it for this one. Change the naming. I had to change the protobuf stuff. This is generated code, so we'll ignore this. I moved the expected stream sequence number from the individual event to the overall request, just like on the HTTP API. So we're in the gRPC protobuf stuff. So this matches what you would see with the header on the request. You wouldn't set an expected stream sequence number on each individual event. You set it on the overall request. So that's what that's for. I removed the events saved from save event failure response. Before, it would allow you to save, like if you passed in 3 events and one of them failed on unmarshalling, it would still persist the other 2. And that's not what we want with optimistic concurrency. If it fails, we want it to not save any event, right, in the transaction. Okay. So yeah. I changed that from being 0 to a message with the reason why. And then just renamed event to save event request. Here's save event request, no more event ID in requests. And instead of, like before, if you saved 2 events, this is for the gRPC one, I believe. it would have said one of them saved, but it failed on the other one. Now it just says failure, none of them saved.
Oh, nice.
I think that's a better, definitely a step in the right direction. Get rid of.
Yeah, it's all or nothing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So if it works, you'll get events saved like this. Well, if you JSON pretty the body, but I don't think you would use the RangeDB client in this way. I think it's better to use the remote store API or the remote store implementation, which uses this under the hood. But if for some reason you wanted to write your own straight up protobuf stuff, you could. It was an afterthought to add the remote store as an implementation. I'm really glad I did because it's nice. Because it's just a drop-in replacement.
Right.
Now we are in the gRPC server, just some changes for the events saved and the messaging that we talked about a second ago. Now, instead of calling SaveEvent, like instead of looping through and calling SaveEvent once, we actually call OptimisticSave events or SaveEvents, just like on the HTTP API. So it's using the newer methods, which is better. Here's the tests for the protobuf stuff. No more event ID, no more event ID. Or here's the correct one that's generated using the, I believe, setrand.
Yeah.
Right there. Same stuff. Here's the message for the error, message for the error here. Same thing. Okay. This is the store. Since we deprecated SaveEvent, made it private, and added some new methods, I went ahead and bumped to version 05.
Yep.
If this had been version 1, we would have had to have gone to version 2 because that was a pretty breaking change. I think everything on the, if you're at version 0, every minor tick is a breaking change. Or technically every tick is a breaking change, but I'm treating going from 4 to 5 backwards incompatible. But if I went to 5.1, it's probably compatible, but yeah, whatever. Got rid of this event input. This was there before because we were going to use that as the JSON input, but we're going to use something else.
Okay.
Refactored the store interface with OptimisticSave, save events, and then regular save events, and got rid of save event, which I don't know if it's, oh, there, yeah, I got rid of save event here.
Oh, I see.
So you can call save, excuse me, with just an event. You can call OptimisticSave with just an event and metadata, or you can call it you can call save with multiple event records. And I thought, well, do we even need save and save events? Let me just go to the code so we can see real quick. Like, what's the difference between the two? This is just kind of a shadow.
Right.
So we got all these tests that saves an event. Like, technically, this is equivalent to
Save events.
save events, but you have to wrap this thing in a event record. So technically, these two are equivalent. Is there any reason to keep around this one? It's somewhat more convenient because you don't have to type as much. You don't have to do this stuff. I decided to keep it because I thought the test, it would be more convenient than typing that. But if you have a strong opinion, and it's the same for Optimistic. Optimistic has the same thing. It's got saving a single event or saving multiple.
Right.
If we go back to the test, if you were going to save like a bunch, like actually, these are equivalent. A2 and event B.
Yeah, you can basically test
I think I
all
did
three
something
that
wrong.
save.
Ah, wrong one.
There you go.
So this group is equivalent to this group.
Right.
Because you can call save events with like one or more, right? You can call it like
Right.
that, or like that. Now it's starting to make me think, maybe we should just go ahead and only have one method called save, and it's like this, and OptimisticSave, and it's like this.
Right. Instead of having the pluralized.
Yeah. Yeah, the only downside is, again, having to call it in this fashion.
You're going to wrap it.
How many places call save? It was all over the place, so I decided, I don't want to go down that path, because I have to change all of these.
No, yeah.
But it would reduce the surface of this interface, which is a lot nicer.
Right.
And the implementations, like the
I would say if you're gonna do it now, since you're already doing a breaking change.
because it's just a shadow. Like it's just, I think we need to get rid of it.
Because it's using the batch underneath, right?
Yep.
So you're obfuscating that wrapper from the client, which the client should just be able to wrap it.
Yes. So we just have that. That's a smaller footprint. I think that's better.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's figure out all these places that are going to break. Let's just do the in-memory store.
Start, one at a time.
Go to the test. Make it work, and then fix all these problems. All right. So I don't need this open. All right. It does not conform to the interface anymore, because OptimisticSave
has those methods.
really should just be this.
Yes.
And then save should just be this.
Yeah, this is way better.
And then all the verify stores. So we could just call save.
Yep.
A1, A2. That's actually cleaner.
It looks better.
It does look better.
You're removing lines of code, which is a good thing.
Let me see if I can. And now I don't have this nil. Now, technically, you could. There we go. So technically, these two lines are equivalent. Wait, is it? Can you not do that? Too few values. I thought you could initialize it this way, which you likely shouldn't do. But okay, never mind. Ignore what I just said.
Okay.
Okay, well.
It's gone.
And then this will be
like
that. Get rid of the nil. Okay.
Yeah, that's way cleaner.
Yeah, I definitely like that. Oh, I didn't do it. I like letting the compiler tell me where things are broken. Oh, this is a lot better. Yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. That.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. Let's do it like this. All right. Yeah, I've never liked this common nil, and I guess it just went away.
Yep. That way you just provide it if you have it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I showed you the code in the API, but I will in a second, of why I didn't do it this way to begin with, or why I had that public save event.
Right.
And we'll definitely get to that in a minute. It almost always comes back to I was cutting a corner. You should never cut corners because it slows you down. All right, let's probably go a couple more. How similar are these? Just copy this whole thing.
Yeah. It looks like, yeah.
Okay,
It's literally the same. Variable names.
All right, OptimisticSave. What does this thing compose? Oh, you have to wrap it in this.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Event record.
That's it.
We'll probably go ahead and just put it on one line. Yeah. Since it's specific for this test, I'm going to put it on like that. So no more save events. It's just OptimisticSave.
Yep.
OptimisticSave. Do I have a specific test for optimistic?
That's
one event.
Yeah. Yep.
Now we got the one event, two events. Okay, I'm happy with that. Yeah, I was worried I was going to have to write more tests. Optimistic. Persist two events. Persist a single. Oh, this is the same test. We don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And now save. I bet they're all going to be like this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me rerun it.
You gotta. Yep.
All right, and this one, event 2.
Yep. The same. Event 2. Yeah. You still got that first one.
I know. It's just faster to keep copying this one thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Matter of fact, this is the last one. Event 2. And then I'll fix these.
Yeah.
Event 1. Event 1. You know what? I'll just do them all.
Yep.
This is the last one. All right. Now we got trigger process. What is this thing saying? It's not event saver.
Subscriber dispatches command that results in another event.
It's because event saver has this save method, and it's no longer. We got to change it to do the event record.
Yeah.
And store save. I think that's in memory store. It needs to be an event saver. What is that? Cannot use store save. What is this for? Trigger process manager. Let me go look at this method real quick. Has to be an event saver. Yeah, this is the difficult stuff that.
Right.
So the store is an event saver. An event saver has a function that takes an event record and saves it. I thought it does have that. Store.save. Oh, ... Okay, we'll do that. Here.
Yes. Yeah.
There we go. Now it implements it.
Okay.
But this is going to likely break anything using the saver because it has to be in the format of a event record event. Yeah, this got pretty complicated, but and then now, oh, actually I could. Wait, what? Oh, this is just like a fake thing, so we don't have to do any metadata. Wait, what just happened? Needs to be a pointer.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not right? No.
I think you need yep, and then parentheses, closing paren.
Why is it trying to put a comma there?
I think you're the closing. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
And then you can get rid of.
Is that what was here before? If you're ever curious what the function looked like before. I don't understand how come it's not showing me the thing. I guess it's showing me the differences between then and now. Okay, that's right. All right. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Now we're back to event record.
Mm-hmm.
Probably gonna be doing this for a freaking hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Grab that.
I want to fix all of one type first.
Yep.
Well, I don't think there's going to be a shortcut. I'll just keep this copied and just manually do each one. Getting close.
2.
OptimisticSave. Do that. Yeah, this is going to save time doing the other stores.
Yeah.
If only Go had polymorphic functions. What is it called? Parametric polymorphism. Hey, all right. In-memory store is done. Let's see what's broken. Literally everything else is broken.
Yeah, all the other stores. Yeah.
Because we got rid of that common method. Now you have to have this, when you call save, you have to wrap it
Yeah.
literally everywhere.
But yeah, like, I mean, since there's already a breaking change, I would, yeah, this
is a better surface anyways.
yeah. And like you said, if we, implement other stores, that's less test coverage that you have to write for each store.
Yeah, I'd rather have a smaller surface area.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna touch that one. I'm happy to do this one though. OptimisticSave. That's interesting. We could put metadata in there. Yeah, this is solving some problems that I had before about getting metadata in there. What store is this? Failing store. Does not implement store. Oh, right, because we turned OptimisticSave into
Yeah.
this, not this. And save is this, not this.
Mm-hmm.
I love how the whole suite's so fast. Chat example. Save.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to do nil. Kind of nice. Just a little clunky.
Yeah.
Probably do this to make it less clunky. I don't know if that's any better. Probably just have it all in one line.
I like
Which one? The other one?
at least it's broken up like that.
It's easier to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call.
Kind of makes it look like I know what the record is.
Yep.
Easier.
All right. So this one is just everywhere. Sometimes you just gotta. Can you imagine doing this without having any tests at all? You couldn't do this kind of sweeping change.
No. There's no way.
All right, so we're gonna save.
You'd be better off just creating a whole new repo.
I don't know about that. Maybe.
Without test, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I remember the first big refactoring I did on an open source project, and it's the first time I've ever done a major refactoring. I thought, oh, this is just 100% impossible. And I tried it, and it was done in like 2 days. Like a completely massive refactor. Projection test. Yeah, I think I do it this way. Honestly, getting closer.
One of my favorite features of Go is that it lints and formats.
Oh man,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm such a perfectionist. I'd be wasting so much time if I couldn't just do Command Option L. Okay, this. Hope we don't run out of time.
No.
I want to get this done before I break for the holidays.
Yeah.
And this was ambitious.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of refactor.
What's happening? Why is that complaining? Oh, it needed a comma. Oh, it did it for me.
There you go.
Gotta be getting close.
Yeah.
How many places do this exactly? None.
Maybe event one though.
Do you know of any faster ways to do this?
No,
Let
I
me
think
know.
you've got it down. Yeah, that's
We just have too many tests. Has anyone ever said that?
that's what I was about to say. That's where tests.
They're all testing specific behavior in each part of the system.
Yeah.
Because I've got a combination of example test and unit tests.
Right.
Example tests are better living documentation than anything else I could write. I think they're probably the most important.
I mean, it's getting there.
Why does this ignore the error? This should be require no error.
See?
Coming across
Fixing tests as we're fixing tests.
when myself doesn't write good code, I get in trouble for it. This must be an old test. Touching some ancient code.
When did you start this? Curious.
Go look at the GitHub. I'm not sure.
All right.
Last year, maybe? It's a lot of code in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Just kept growing. But it was easy to add features. It wasn't like it was a, 3 months of not working. It was every time a new feature was added, it was working. Like the WebSocket implementation was just a, why do we need this? Kind of a fun implementation.
Let's go to commits. Okay.
Oh, we don't have access to T in this one.
Almost from your first commit on December 20th, 2019.
So we're almost 1 year in.
Yeah, 2 days away from 1 year.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So we need to pass in T here. default value T. Should get it in all of them too. See if it works. Yeah, I got them all. That was cool. Did you see that refactoring? So that's why it wasn't there, was T wasn't available when it was first made. It made this one a lot better.
Yeah. Almost.
Dude, there's probably like a ton more.
Don't focus on those.
Yeah, I can get to them quicker this way. All right.
5. Not equal. Oh, it's just your messaging.
That's actually the wrong.
Yeah, because you deleted save event.
Yeah, it's supposed to be save.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be optimistic save.
Yeah.
We could probably just go back to this one. Where's that red? Oh, here we go. Save. Oops. Oh, I lost my thing to copy.
There you go. And then
oh, we were putting it on a new line, right?
yeah.
Another one working here. Yeah, I don't care about that one. Remote store, BDD tests. I guess we ignore those. This could be an event record. Not going to touch it though. I'll get done with this refactoring. I don't normally like these really big. We should have committed what we had.
Yeah.
But what the?
So save.
That was weird.
Oh.
Save
Yeah, same.
Just save.
Yep.
Oh, this is going to be saved too.
Oh man.
I think that's it. Now it's just the other stores aren't implemented, but all the other tests are passing. Whew. I think it's time for a whip commit.
Yeah.
I know it's going to break all the tests, but that was a pretty massive refactoring.
Yeah.
It looks clean now.
Well, yeah, because.
Oh man, deleting code is so nice.
Yeah. Just means there's less code to maintain, which is nice.
All right. Care about protobuf. Care about protobuf. This had to have been boring.
No, I don't think so. I think it was
this
more
is nice.
messful than the last one.
Yeah, we didn't write much code last time. Oh, here's the raw event I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Okay, now we're back to something worth discussing. So raw event, let me get rid of this other one. I got this raw event thing. So in the API, when you call it with a JSON request, see if I can find the test for this. Yeah, I'll just leave it over here.
Yep.
So when you call save, right here. When you call save events and you pass in an event, well, the API only has it as JSON, but the interface requires an event, which is a struct. So like, how do you build an event? Like, oops, I don't want to do that. So thing was done. I have these test events over in this RangeDB test package. So like, this is a struct, thing was done. Well, what if they send you an event, user was onboarded? Like, my brain just couldn't grasp how to do that. So that's where SaveEvent came from, where you pass in SaveEvent, where you pass in the aggregate type, the aggregate ID, the event type, the event ID, and the event as an interface, because that's what I had access to. And really a better implementation is to save it like this, have an event record that has an event which implements this event interface. So basically one of these structs, that thing was done, whatever, user was onboarded. So back in the API, in order to save an event, you get these event records. I've got these event records, right? And so when I create the event record, and now I create the event, I created something called a raw event. And that's where I encapsulated this data, the aggregate type, the aggregate ID, the event type, and the basically the bytes, which is implements the empty interface. Empty interface. And the raw event, it hangs on to the aggregate type, the ID, the type, and the data. And it implements the interface of an event. It's got an aggregate ID type and event type.
Okay.
But whenever you are working with, in order for the JSON marshalling to turn this into a proper JSON string, you need this stuff. And at the time when I made this store, I didn't know about this one extra awesome feature. So JSON Marshal is an interface. It's a marshaller, and if you just implement Marshal JSON, it'll marshal into the exact JSON that you got back. Basically, the data. It's like this made it work. Having this little dummy struct that just carries the thing that the API needs to build an event with that implements the interface of this thing. And it doesn't require any type of struct embedding or any kind of weird inheritance things that would be a carryover.
That's cool.
Yeah. So in a traditional way, you would see this done in other languages that have inheritance, is they have a base type, and they would just extend the base type and do it that way. Well, we don't have to. We can just stay with polymorphism, have this little raw event that implements the interface. It is an event, and it's just a carrier struct for that stuff. So it makes it all work, and I'm very happy with that.
So by adding that function to that raw JSON struct, Marshal JSON.
Yeah.
That that gets called when you unmarshal it.
When you marshal it.
Oh,
not when you unmarshal it, because I don't have to unmarshal it at all.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
It's just whenever you're calling save, because you have these event records, and it requires an event. An event has to implement the interface of aggregate ID, aggregate type, and event type. So let's see how get event records is used. Event records. So you call save on here, Let's go into the in-memory store on save. Let's just close this down. So now we've got this event record. It calls save events. We iterate through the records, and we pick off the event, which is just, it implements the event interface. So if you go into save event, and the event, wait a minute. It has to implement the event interface, so you can call aggregate type, aggregate ID, and event type, as well as get the data from there.
Actual data, yeah. That's cool.
Yep. And then you have this pending event data, and this is where it gets interesting. This pending event data had, let's see.
Pending events.
Yeah, save event returns. I don't want to get into it.
Okay.
Basically, but I think it needed to have this Marshall JSON.
Yeah.
It might be able to. Let's see if it is it even required. Yeah, maybe that's not even really. I think it's required.
No, there's some breaking stuff.
What does it try to make it into? Yeah, okay. It can't marshal it.
It can't write.
Yep. So that's why you need that guy.
That's so cool.
So it looked like it broke on the gRPC side, not on the web API side. But there's an unmarshal too, but I don't think you would ever need to unmarshal into this raw. It's really just to treat this web request as JSON as if you were working with a real struct and calling this the store interface. Yeah, just make it work a little better. I think this is good to commit.
Yeah.
Where were we? A bunch of tests. Proto. Yeah, that's it. So this is the removed save event, added, oh, we didn't add save events. We
removed save event and save events.
I don't think save events was there. It was something I wanted to add in this.
It was commented.
It was commented out, and it really became save in OptimisticSave.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna call it that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, this is a whip. I need to. Let's review real quick and see what's going on. Oh, one to do. Let's make this a whip. Is there a form you do that with? I don't care. Just do it like this.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So now it's completely broken, but I think in a better place.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
You'll just see that it fails the test. This one failed test too. I'm not sure why. Well, the test passed, but something else didn't.
Weird.
3:17. What are we? An hour in?
Yep.
You want to keep going? That was basically deprecating save event.
I mean, that's
the next thing would be to we can do this. This won't take long. Updating the docs.
Yeah, let's update docs and then
call it a day.
Call it a day.
Cool. Well, the docs are here. So save events. So we probably need to create a new one with OptimisticSave. So where is that file? RangeDB API. So we'll have another one called Can I duplicate? Copy file. Optimistic save events.
Should be optimistic save.
Yeah. Well, it's called optimistic save events because where's the docs? Is it examples? Because that's how it would read. For the human to read it, not necessarily the underlying function.
Okay. Okay.
Did I just say the human?
A human would read it. Yeah, the way.
but I said it in a weird way, like the human.
Right.
Like a robot would say it. I think I failed the Turing test. All right, so we've got this optimistic save events. And we have to pass in a header, right?
Yes. Expected sequence
number.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Something like that. Request body. So this needs to be, in order to set headers, you can't do a post. You have to have got to create a new request like this. Oh, that shouldn't be a post either.
Right.
Fix it while I'm here.
HTTP up. Yeah.
Just make it a little bit cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
So I need the request to be this. It's cool that you can do the content type.
Yep.
What is the URL? The URL. I'll just copy the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Set the content type and then the header.
You have I think you had a recorder, HTTP, in the other one. Yeah.
I don't know if I need the response recorder because there's already, you have to actually make the call. So it's like HTTP dot.
I think you have to have a client, right? .do.
Yeah, I thought there was a way you could pass in. It's like execute or. Like that.
Maybe, yeah.
For some reason, I thought there was the same way you have a post, you could
just execute it.
Yeah, but this is an example test. It actually spins up a RangeDB API listening on a port. Uses HTTP test to do that, and you can make real calls to it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Another one of those HTTP method post. Is that gonna work? Just run a test for the API. Oh, I can do it right here. I think this is gonna not work.
We got it.
Did it actually have an error? Request.
Inbound memory.
Here, let me move this up. Is when you do the request. I don't know if this is going to work though.
Yeah, you might. Can you do the? Well, you'd have to create a instance of the HTTP client, and then that instance can do the .do.
Okay.
I think.
Let's do that.
Yeah. HTTP.
Well, that wouldn't have worked because that's just a. It just has the client.
Isn't that how it works? Oh man.
Let me see if any other. Where am I doing that? WebSocket API test. Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
That's
see,
insane, though.
using the HTTP test recorder.
But it's not a. I don't believe it's a recorder. I actually want to make the call to the server.
I think you need to make it the address.
Oh, you're right. The URL needs to be to include it. No, it has server URL right there.
No. On the HTTP client, like here, I'm going to share it in the chat.
Sure.
Like this is coming from the Go doc, and then you can do client.do with the rec. But I don't think you need that stuff. Yeah, that's just. You don't need any of that. You just need it to be initialized. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what default client does.
Oh, it does.
Hmm? Yeah, that's just a variable that contains that client.
Oh, sorry.
It's used so you can override it in testing, although that's not the best strategy. Let's see. What was this before?
It was just HTTP post.
You just post that. That's what we want to do. We want to post, but why would this be any different?
Is it? I mean, I don't know if I'm assuming it's an interface, but the HTTP test.new request, is that the same thing as HTTP?
See, post just looks at default client and then calls post.
Oh wow. C.do.
Client.do takes a request, returns a response. I'm at a loss because this should actually work. Unless I'm not passing in, I shouldn't be passing an event ID. That shouldn't affect it though. The other one shouldn't have it either.
Does
Yeah, this is dumbfounding me because it's saying response does not have a body.
Yeah.
Or response is nil, so it's like.
Is it the request object on line 44? Should that be HTTP.new request? Or
Yeah, it shouldn't be HTTP test. It should be. You're right. That's a great catch.
And that might. Yeah.
Method string, method post. Wow, that's exactly what happened. And then reader. Why couldn't I just replace it?
Maybe it gives back to make it back an error or something.
Yep, you got it. So my strategy for the example test is to always print the errors. That way, if any errors come up, it would fail this test. Print error is just a helper. Yeah, good catch. Wow, I'm glad you caught that. You're like the king of catching that stuff. Yeah, this is just a helper for these tests.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. I want to go ahead and remove event ID across the board.
Yeah, just include that in here since we've done some cleanup so far.
What is in here? What is this? Why is this all commented? Oh, that's not commented. I don't know how to just get the ones that are
Part of the request, right?
yeah. I think it's just the HTTP API, so it shouldn't really be a problem. Yeah, anyone that's doing save events shouldn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
Here, you can do this. If you search for thing that you're looking for, you can open and find window and you can get access to it down here.
And then it'll take you. Yeah.
And you can even edit them over here, which is kind of cool.
That's cool.
So any of the ones that, I don't know if this is a, yeah, that's the request. That's the request. That's a response, probably. I'm gonna run all the tests real quick.
Yeah.
Make sure I didn't accidentally break something. And you can always go back to your find window.
That's
Just make it a little bigger. Yeah, this expected JSON is the wrong name. It should be like JSON body.
Yeah.
That's why I got messed up. And then we don't want the event ID. Do the other ones have that? Oh, it doesn't matter. Expected. Yeah, this is correct. Expected JSON. Like this.
Those are the responses, right?
Responses.
Yeah.
Output responses. Okay. Okay. Just in request, because they'll never be able to specify what the event ID is. That's going to be internal. I'm starting to think you just need to get rid of the event IDs. I don't know what purpose they have. Nothing uses them. Okay, that's it.
So you can't query by them? Like if I was a client and I kept track of the responses?
Could.
Maybe I want to query, oh, I don't know.
You could, because the record envelope has event ID on it. So
Yeah.
let's say this is your Postgres table.
Yeah.
Go to Postgres. I know it doesn't work right now, but
No, it's fine.
we create this table. Since you have event ID there, you can make an index and we could write a query to get event by event ID.
That might be.
I don't know when you would ever do that. If you know the event ID, you usually have the content. Now, aggregate ID, that's something you want to index on for sure.
No, right. I don't know. Maybe that's a discussion for another time. Yeah.
So this, we update the docs. Man, that would be really nice to knock out. I could call this done. Let's just do the.
What did we do?
A quick code review. A little bit of cleanup. We added the docs.
Yeah, we added documentation.
Just OptimisticSave events documentation.
Yep.
HTTP API. There's not an OptimisticSave for WebSockets. There's actually not even a save. You can only stream events. It doesn't make any sense to write via WebSockets because that would be happening from like a JavaScript land. If forever you want to, if for some reason you want to have a projection that runs in the browser, you could do that. But you shouldn't be able to write to it from the browser. I don't think that would ever happen.
Right.
We don't have an example of OptimisticSave events. Should we do that too?
I don't think it's going to take that long.
Okay. OptimisticSave events. Can I go to this one? just copy. Okay.
So what are we doing?
I don't know that gRPC, does it have optimistic?
Yeah, I think we, didn't we do that?
Expected 0. What does the API test do? Passes 2 and it's a successful one, right? Yeah, it's a successful one.
Mm-hmm.
Probably should have a failure example as well. This needs to be uint 64. Wait, is uint 64? Uint 64 value?
I think it's a
Let's see,
pointer.
has anyone done that? It's like this.
It's a pointer, right?
It's
Yeah.
like this thing. Well, I don't know what the content is. Value.
So,
This was because it's optional in the version of protocol buffers we're using. Not so great. I just want to run this test or this package. Let's do one that fails. Optimistic.
Okay.
Why is this complaining? Unknown. Is this one complaining too? Oh, we can do save events with oops, and we can do a failure one. Can you do 2 in one file? I don't know if you can.
I saw you have a separate file for the other one.
For the failure one?
Yeah, I see failure response test, save events. Yeah.
Where do you see that?
Oh, you're just on it.
Save events failure. It's probably a good practice to have a separate one. What was it, the other one named?
Save events.
Save events failure response test. So we need to have save events, then, okay, let's do it that way. So it would be save events with
A long one.
and we need to rename that in the README. I like that it didn't like that.
Yeah.
We'll have a failure one. How about we do it like this? Optimistic.
Yeah.
Some SEO.
Yeah.
Failure. Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
It can just be failure response.
Yeah.
Okay. Failure. And then we just put like 1.
Right.
Like maybe 2. So it's,
Yeah.
and then this will say something else. It'll say like, I don't know what it is. We'll just.
Well, that's probably gonna
Oh, because it spits out this error. There is no JSON body.
right.
There should be a JSON body. Why is there no JSON body? and then null. Should save events. I thought it would give you the.
What does the other one do?
I believe it says unable to save to store like this. No. It's got a message. This is the API test. This response is like a save events response.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it should be a failure though.
Yeah. Would the other failure documentation?
What if I need to rerun? Yeah, I was totally expecting this to be. Does that contain the message? Let's look at the server. Yeah, I was expecting to have this save event failure response.
Mm-hmm.
We can just debug it real fast.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't compiled this. Oh, there you go. Response. Save events response. Nil.
No.
That's not correct. Explain that one to me. If this other one, when you call save events,
That was on second from
that's
invalid.
event. It's invalid event data. Maybe. Oh, maybe it doesn't.
We not have that test?
I don't think it's captured in the server. Yeah, it should be like this.
I mean, that's what
Let's run this thing again. That goes into optimistic. The save error is unexpected sequence number.
right.
It puts save event failure response. Returns that. That's a bunch of protobuf stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how to bug out of it. I think you gotta go down here to maybe here.
Yeah.
And then play to that one. What?
Okay.
Oh, I needed to go down here and block
Oh.
right there. Or maybe here. There we go. What is error? It has a message.
Can you go back to that?
Oh, there's no body. Go back to what?
Oh, no, go ahead. You were on something.
Like we're printing the body when the message is on the response. So there is no body. We're marshalling the response. What does body contain? Null. So the marshalling of this response isn't working. And the response is of type save event response. Okay. Save event response.
Well, that's because you're.
Yeah, this has JSON in here. Is it because it got wrapped in something else?
Can you go back one? Yeah. So we're returning nil and then st error. Oh, because we're returning that as the error value.
Yeah, you have to return a.
Yeah.
Save event response. What if you just serve st?
But go back up to the signature. You're giving a save event response or error.
Yeah, this is a successful response. An error is this.
Oh, save event failure response.
Status code, yeah, failure response. So yeah, over here it has the. For some reason, it just can't unmarshal the body, but the message is there. Response.
And the failure response struct has the JSON like decorators. I don't know. I forget what they're called.
It's a nil save event response. That's why it is nil.
Right, because the response is there is no response that it will be in the error, right?
It's in the error. Maybe just print the error.
Yeah.
And then ignore the body.
Yeah, we don't need the body because we're expecting this to error.
Wait, but we're already printing the error.
Yeah. That's why
maybe that's all we need to do is just print the error.
Yeah.
And ignore the response.
Yeah,
is that
we
what
don't
the other
need
one does? Failure. Move it over to the right.
Print errors, yeah.
No, they print the body and there's a message. That's why I was expecting this message to be there. So that.
Well, that's weird because if you look at what you're returning, it's a nil.
Right, but in this case, it's also a save event failure. Oh, I have to do this to it. Detail. Oh, I think I have to do all of this.
I see.
Yeah, we should have looked at this before.
But yeah, see, they're skipping on the response on line 71. And then they're just taking the error and formatting it.
Yeah, there we go. That's gonna work.
Yeah. And then
should have looked at that before we started.
No worries. We got there.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
And this is the message. Wow, that was a roundabout. Perfect.
Yeah, that's good.
But worth it because now there's documentation for optimistic concurrency I'm definitely going to call this done for today after this one. So we got save events. We got a couple optimistic concurrency. Should we have same thing here?
Yeah. Make it consistent.
And then instead of optimistic save events, have it save events. Did I say with optimistic concurrency?
Yep.
Yeah, I typed it the same. So save events with optimistic concurrency. Okay. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, that's good.
I'd rather document it this way than. Oh, we did have a failure though. Failure response.
For the other one?
Yeah, we need to do failure response.
All right.
It just keeps getting tagged on, huh? promise this is the last one.
That's fine, man.
You get the joys of
Optimistic save failure.
all right.
So
Let's do 2.
yeah.
And it'll be something else.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna want it. It'll be in the error again, right? And you'll.
This one will be a lot cleaner. It'll be in a JSON response. I need to run it for the whole thing now. Just do some, unexpected sequence number. We should probably clean up that error message, but failed. It's pretty cool though. You get unit tests
Nice.
for our living documentation. It's really nice.
That's cool.
Did I show you how to see the living documentation?
I don't think so.
You go to the root project, you can go to GoDoc. And it's been moved to pkg.go.dev.
Yeah.
But you can go look at any of the methods and you can go to the documentation. I think it's in directories. I wish you could, here's the examples. So to get all the events with the RangeDB API, so the HTTP API, if you have a store running and you make a request for, this is kind of harder to read, but you get the sense of this is what the response is going to be.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's like a living test.
You may have shared this.
Save event.
Right.
Here's the request to save the events. And then once we have optimistic concurrency, you'll see that show up here as well. But I'm gonna call this done. Let's run on the test real quick. And
just make sure it's those.
That test is still running. Okay, fails for the right reasons. And this is it for the year, unless I bring my laptop on vacation. A little clean up.
Yeah, just clean up and I think more documentation, really.
Yep, add optimistic concurrency and a failure. Uh-oh, that's not the right file name. Well, I guess it is. That was weird. Optimistic concurrency. Probably should have a failure response, but I'm not going to do that right now. The whole point of this is optimistic concurrency. A lot of duplication, but I think you need it to be explicit with how to use it.
Right.
Like if someone cares about one instance, they can see right up front, like this is how you do it. This is the few times I will comment code, is this is like for documentation. It's not for living code.
Right.
Normally I would say no to this, but like normally this would be living in a different function, but because it needs to live inside this example to show up in the docs, that's why I have comments here. This is one of the few places you'll see comments in this project. Outside of given when then.
Right.
Or given when output, I think that's pretty good. This is a pretty clean API.
Yeah.
This could
very
be
well tested.
Better, yeah, definitely good tests. Yeah. I think this could be better messaging. I don't know.
Unexpected sequence number 2.
Like we should have gotten 0. You should have passed in 0, but you passed in 2, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Same thing here. But at least it's consistent among the APIs. And cleaned up. Okay, I like this. I'm really happy. Added.
Docs. gRPC.
Yeah, let's do it like that. Awesome.
Sweet.
I'm super happy. I wish there was a way in Git to have multiple code authors per commit. Because your name should be on here too. I know you can, there's an extension that you can add that will put your name in the comment, but it's not the same. But,
Yeah, that's fine. I'll make a PR soon.
well, I don't know that this feature can go in because obviously we got to add it to the other repos, but we got the in-memory one working. There's still some things about transactions and rollback. I thought we were going to do that today, but we did something more important, which was reduce the footprint of the store interface. In the future, I probably should just go ahead and add that right now as a to-do, which was add tests for like if you have you send 3 events, the first one works, the second one works, but the third one fails, it needs to roll back those first 2 that were saved. And that should be fine in Postgres because you can use a transaction and rollback. LevelDB has the same thing, transaction rollback. I'm not so sure about the remote store.
That's going to be...
I think the remote store will just pass it through. Like SaveEvents will have that. That's part of the API, so remote store won't be a problem. But in memory is going to be harder. We'll have to have some type of manual transaction rollback. It's going to be some ugly code, but this needs to be this needs to be the next thing to be done.
Yeah.
Before
Oh, okay.
is there like a sub thing here? Does that work?
You can preview.
Yeah, I'll do that in a second. What else is there? How about we just all implementations. I think that's it. What are the ones that are failing? LevelDB, Postgres, and remote.
Yep.
You said preview. Yeah, cool. And then this is kind of nice to have.
Yeah.
Add test. Yeah, so I need to do this. I need to make that work so that the in-memory one is correct and we have correct tests, and then it's just going through each of the other stores and making them work properly. That will free up. Is it an issue? That'll free up the issue, work on this Postgres store enhancement. I hate for someone to get far off on a branch in Postgres without having this major rewrite for optimistic concurrency.
Yeah.
But we're really close. I think this is...
No, I know. And honestly, that the HTTP API save events to use proper JSON, that could be... That doesn't... I don't have to be done for this to go in.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Not at all. Nope. I can...
like that could be a separate... yeah. Branch, separate PR. Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for this. We likely won't have another session like this until January, but if for some reason you're watching this on the interwebs, thank you. Let me know if you have any comments, questions, concerns, and I'm happy to address them. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Been a huge help.
Thanks for having me, man. See ya.
Right. See ya.
Bye.